Okay, so what I'm gonna be doing is I have a major market type thing coming up in September, and what that is it's Mid-Missouri Pride Fest, and so I'm really looking forward to it. But that being said, I just realized that I barely have a little over a month until it's gonna start, so I'm kind of a little bit anxious about that. Doing the best I can, and we're gonna go from there. So it's not perfect, but we're doing what we can. It'll just take a little bit to, make it all work, get it all going. So currently a big part of what I'm doing is just kind of preparing, like, just like, it sounds so nerdy, but a list of what I want to do to get ready for Pride Fest. That way I have an actual concrete set of goals instead of like getting so caught up in the fact that it's an event and it's gonna happen soon and oh my gosh, I'm not ready. I can be like, here's what I can do to be ready. And I just think that that's a very important mindset to be able to have with some things in life. This kind of thing being one of them, since this isn't like a full-time thing for me. I am a student primarily. And sorry, that's my girl having. I have a kitty, and she has asthma. It's medicated, but she's just, we're still working on it. So we're just taking it as it comes. And I actually took her to the vet today, and she got pretty much a clean bill of health. So that is something I am definitely appreciative for. Um, she's a good gal. She's been my gal for my whole life. I love her more than life itself. She is an absolute baby, and she's just amazing. And I'm just making sure the tags are working on this, and then I'm gonna poke her little itty bitty tail, cause she's got little itty bitty tail. She does. And there, okay. And there we go. So, all in all, I love her dearly. And I'm just so happy that she is okay. I'm very happy that she's all right. Because I was traveling for the 2 months, right? Like you can see in my past videos that was a big deal. I think it would be a big deal for anyone. But yeah, so it was really hard to leave her behind for 2 months, and you know, it's not exactly something anyone wants to do with a pet, but we are codependent, and I mean codependent. Like, she's been my gal since I was 3 years old, and I am 20 now, so that's a hot minute. And she is amazing, but So, anyways, I have this big market in September, and it is stressful. But if I make a list for it, like I'm planning on doing, it does help because then you know exactly what to commit your time for. And so I've been working on this little like list, but like if anyone does have any ideas for kinds of things to include, I'm all ears. Right now I'm working on a lot of these shawls, which are dragon scale. Hi. And so that is, I like these because it's cotton yarn, and I mean, I just like working with cotton. It's a lot less frizzy, frays a lot less, and it's a small skein. It's like a size 2 weight, and so I can bring it with me, and it's the little hook, the little clover hook that I love, and so I can bring it to class. And I actually, like, I have ADHD, and so I just utilize it as pretty much a fidget, if that makes sense, which is very helpful when you just have a lot going on. Like, I am in pretty much the maximum number of credit hours for a normal student. you have to like ask for permission to go above it. So I spend a lot of time in class and or watching lectures on my own time at home, and I work a lot. Hi. But yeah, it's just really, it's nice. It's a relaxing thing, and I would not be getting through the course load I am getting through if it weren't for being able to do this kind of stuff. So I'm very grateful that it's something I get to do. I'm doing well. How are you doing? But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, especially since, having traveled and done so many things, um, costs add up. So it's nice to also look forward to it as a source of income and, feel a little bit more productive while I work on these things, because I don't like the idea of only viewing my hobbies and something I enjoy uh, as a financial thing. But, sometimes, well, really all the time, finances are just a part of life. And so it is nice to think that I can do something that I genuinely enjoy instead of stressing and doing things I don't. And I'm very happy for that. But what I currently have is I have a bunch of these. I have a bunch of the leggy frogs in a bunch of various colors. I have some cat keychains like this little guy. This one's for a commission, and I'm gonna be sending him out. But I just think he's cute. Oh, that's cool. I'm studying, one of my things that I'm studying right now is economics. So I know it's definitely not the same as like finance, but it is, I understand a lot of the concepts. Investments is definitely the part of it that I enjoy the most, which I think does have a fair amount of overlap with finance. So I think that's pretty cool. Whenever I have the extra income to do it, I really look forward to being able to invest and kind of feel that satisfaction from it, if that makes sense. It's like, oh, a bit check to check right now, but I'm hoping that down the road I'll be able to take advantage of that kind of thing. And, it's not like just being educated on how it works and whatnot means that you're going to win it. But it is nice to be able to like know that you're picking the account with the most tax advantages and things like that. So I definitely can appreciate that. Hey, Mary. Yeah, Mary's one of my friends. It was actually our shared friend who lives near her that mailed me a bunch of stuff for Pride Fest that I'll probably unbox a little bit later. Um, Definitely want to make sure she's here. And honestly, I may do it another day where I can definitely like show it off more, because right now I'm still working on getting a mannequin. So it is really hard to show off crochet tops. Like she made these, I think they're called halter tops. Um, you know, so that is definitely something you kind of want a mannequin for, believe it or not. So I'm working on getting one of those for displays. Either way, I'll definitely want to post the link to her socials in the description of this after I'm done streaming, because she makes really, really pretty stuff. And oh, okay, mortgage stuff. So, obviously at this point I don't really own any property, but I do think how, all of that works in terms of asset and debt and everything else. But yeah, I've heard about those pension plans. Don't know anyone who has them, but they seem cool. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. I may break out the loom and weave a little bit because I can make little things like these keychains. I just think they're cute. They're just a little thing, and considering it's a Midmo Pride Fest, I think it's a pretty good thing to be able to, make rainbow things. And that's kind of what I'm working on here too. The yarn's gonna color change to get to red. So I've posted some of these already, but I just think they're really cute, and I like them. I think they're cute. I think it's nice to be able to make small little cute things, and with my pricing, um, I'm in a low cost of living area, so like it may be lower than what other people in the country can charge, but whatever, because my cost of living is also lower. But it also means that like kids can afford it. Like when you go and do events and whatnot, one of my favorite pictures I have from all the stuff I've made is this little girl holding one of those. It was a white cat I made that looked just like her cat, is what she said. And she just is so happy holding it. And it was a really nice feeling to having been able to do that for her, to be able to have her own something nice that's hers. And so I really enjoy that part of it. It's something I'm really looking forward to, all things considered. And yeah, so that's probably a part of it that I'm really looking forward to. And I also just look forward to like seeing all the events and taking part in what I can take part in. So you know, because it is a fest, like I am vending, but it is also a festival. And this year I actually have a partner in crime for the booth. So they're going to be able to watch the booth while I can go and look around and vice versa. And I'm really looking forward to it because he's going to be face painting while I'm like managing selling the stuff. And right now he's not planning on making anything for the booth, but I made sure that he knows that he's more than welcome to make stuff and add it. But, you know, he is freelance full time. So it's a kind of thing where it's just commissions as he can do them. And so, you know, commissions come first because commissions you get the income, especially since for his stuff you have to pay a deposit and all that good stuff. But what's nice about that as well is while I'm working on stuff, because I have a pretty busy schedule, is he gets to pretty much make his own schedule. So we can often just improv, kind of sit together and work on our things. Like he needs a sewing machine really to work on his things. But for me, it's crochet. It's pretty portable. And even my little loom is portable. Like I have a big loom right over there, and that is not very portable. But I do have this little one that I can weave stuff like the little keychains on. One thing I'm wanting to do quite possibly tomorrow or Sunday is I'd like to be able to record like a stream most likely and then hyperlapse it. I just think it's cool to be able to have people ask questions live if they're curious about it, because one of the main reasons I started posting online and whatnot is because I wanted people to get engaged in weaving and to, you know, look at it and be interested. That's kind of a really big deal for me, and I would love to be able to have that. So that is definitely one of the things I'm hoping for. So that will be a lot of fun. And I also plan on bringing the little loom to Pride Fest and working on stuff there. I do have gloves I need to make for my mom. But at a certain point, if I can always work on her gloves whenever we're there before customers arrive, and then stuff like that. What I'm making for her is dragon scale gloves, so it's a very similar pattern to this, if you can see. But I'm going to be doing it with baby alpaca. And so I might want to do a practice pair first or a practice one and then switch to doing it with alpaca. I'm probably going to end up freehanding it, so I'm not exactly sure what it's going to like look like, if that makes sense, and I'm a little bit nervous. But what's nice about that also is if I make them a little bit baggy, it's okay, because what I can do is I can just kind of sew some elastic thread in, which is helpful. I have a lot of that. And so, especially given that my friend, who's like my partner in crime for the booth, is like a tailor effectively, he can lend me some of the supplies for that, which will make it a lot easier to do all that and get it done and everything else. So that's one thing I'm definitely looking forward to. And I think that it will be really cute to be able to have the booth. And with him face painting, it'll be nice to have like an interactive part to bring people in. And while so maybe one person's getting their face painted, I'm sure that the other one's going to want to at least look at the booth. So I think that that's a really cool mix of things, if that makes sense. Like, and I have these little like metal grid display things, and so we could display his stuff on one side, like prints and whatnot. I'm sure he will. I'm sure we will want to do some prints and whatnot. So, you know, I'm thinking that it'll be a lot of fun. I'm hoping that we'll be pretty successful. because, you know, like we do want to have fun, but at the very least, we want to make booth rent back. Ideally, I'd like to be able to have enough to kind of restock my savings after my travels this summer. So that would be just a really good opportunity, I think, to be able to do that. And yeah, no, I would like to be able to do that. I'd like to be able to kind of support myself a little bit more from a passion rather than stressing about something that I'm not really always engaged with. Like, I'll be honest, of my jobs on campus, like, I usually like my jobs a certain amount, which is a very nice thing I'm very happy about. But at the same time, it just isn't always easy to have. It's not always easy to just have to sit down and commit hours of your time, hours of your life to something. So it's kind of just, you know, going from there really. And I don't know. It just can be very difficult. And it wears on you with time, and when you add in classes and then you're tired and you don't really enjoy class, and it's harder to focus, and when it's harder to focus you have to do more work at home to make sure you understand it, and it's this horrible futile cycle that just makes it where you get trapped and don't get anything done, and then you feel worse and get even less done. And I'm just really trying to avoid being in that scenario. And, you know, while I think it's very important to not view something I'm passionate about, like crochet, as something that's simply, you know, an income source, it is nice to, gosh, it's such a like, sarcasm American dream thing, but feel productive while I'm doing something I have fun with. And I'm a huge workaholic. It's not good for me, but I get very, oh my gosh, um, you know, I got to get the things done. I got to work on them. I got to do this, that, and the other thing. And so being able to have something to just kind of sit down and ground myself with, I think is very important for me. And it's also nice that I can do this in class. And that's part of why I've been making so many shawls and why I'm so behind on plushies. With the plushies, I'll probably focus on doing those while I'm streaming, because I think that having an audience makes it a lot easier. And like being able to talk to people while I'm doing it, which I view that stream chat acts like that a little bit, of, you know, being able to have that interaction, or at the very least, like being able to facilitate people being willing to, hopefully, if that makes sense. It's like it gives people the option, and if they want to, I can interact with them. And it's very nice, especially since like my friends can watch and stuff, and they can ask questions and whatnot. um, you know, it's just a way of having something else going on in a somewhat social way without it being overwhelming while I am working through projects. Like, I like making plushies, but I like this kind of thing as well because of the fact that I have the pattern so memorized on a core level, and there's no counting, and it's entirely visual. It's just a very nice thing to be able to have it where I don't need to worry about it, if that makes sense. It's very nice to be able to simply go through the motions and follow it visually and do it like I know on a very core basic level how to do it, which at this point I do. And so that comfort that it can bring me is very nice. And so that is one thing that I'm very, very happy about. Um, yeah, but prepping for Pride Fest wise, right now I'm planning on making a bunch of cats, like little loaf cats. I'm sure you've seen like bigger versions of these guys in plushie yarn. Um, for Pride Fest, like I know I have blue, pink, and yellow yarn, so I'm planning on doing 5 of each in those colors. And so with that also, I plan on making some of the keychains, probably like a handful of the keychains of each color. And I know I have a lot more colors in that smaller yarn because it is like, I do have the cat pattern memorized and there is counting, but because the yarn is so small, it's a lot easier to bring with me. So like for one of my jobs, I work hours based on appointments that are scheduled with me. And if we finish early or whatever else, I'm still getting paid for that time, but I have a little bit of downtime. And between appointments, there's not really much to do, to be honest. So what I could always do is just like have a lecture and listen to it in an audio sense while I'm working on it, especially if it's like a review lecture where it doesn't require all my attention. Like that way, it kind of is like implicit studying without it being that first and foremost thing that takes my mental energy. And it means I can kind of like fidget and also just get stuff done that I need to get done for Pride. It's just very nice to be able to get stuff done for the market without really like stressing about it while it's happening. And so I'm very grateful for that. And I am very much hoping that I'll be able to keep having that as an advantage. So I got to learn some more patterns, and I have this wonderful, wonderful woman named Amy who I've been helping teach crochet, and she's wanting to send me some books to be able to show you guys while I'm streaming, and talk about them and stuff like that. And I'm gonna look around and see if I can get maybe like a discount code or something. I am an Amazon associate now. I haven't put my link anywhere really. But I do think that it would be really cool to be able to see if I could utilize that somehow to get like maybe a discount code on the book, or I could reach out to the author. But I'm thinking if I could just do that and then do a stream on it and go through like a pattern in the book, I just think that would be a lot of fun. I think it would be pretty insightful for people. Like I always like to see stuff from the books, like see it actually done before I do it. And like the covers, that's the super pretty one, but it's nice to see what a person of my crochet skill level can do. And so that's one thing that's always been important to me when I look into buying books that isn't always taken seriously. So I just think that's really cool. So that is definitely something that I appreciate, to say the least. And so, yeah. But it is a lot of fun also because my like partner for Pride Fest, he also does like digital art. And so I feel so bad for him, but he's got it down to literally an art form of using Ibis Paint on his phone and drawing with his thumb. But he does commission quality work. And it is really cute, cool stuff. So I'm really happy for him, but I'm also working on. I have an old laptop that's pretty old and it kind of got to the point of being dysfunctional. I knew it would speed up if I factory reset it, but by that point it was like going to college and I was like, I need a sleeker upgrade anyway. So I ended up getting one and this laptop kind of fell to the wayside. I had it for years. But my partner for Pride Fest is needing a computer type thing. Like he just doesn't have one, and it's kind of a necessity at this point. And so I'm giving it to him, and to be able to make it a lot better, I did the factory reset, and so all my stuff's gone, and it's all his. And we're working on getting one of those drawing tablets that can kind of like attach to the computers. So that's something I definitely look forward to. Um, it's like it's nice to be able to just have, I don't know, one thing I wanted him to do, or I'm wanting him to do at some point. Right now he's over his head on commission, so I'm not going to ask at this point, but I think it would be cute to have him do like little cartoon style thumbnails for some of my videos as I get into making more edited professional ones. Like, I am wanting to do one for like top crochet tips and things like that, and also wanting to go into some kind of productivity skills because it's actually at my university. I work as someone who helps students with productivity, but I've noticed that a lot of those things also apply to like even just things like cleaning your house. And so I think it would be really cool to be able to kind of teach about how to do that and how to use that time effectively and like just help people live lives that are more efficient in a way that it allows them to have more time to do the things they want to do. And I think that that's a very important thing. I think it's a very useful thing to be able to do that. And I'm jotting down some things right now just for like tips I might do. And if I do ever make that video, I'll go back and link it here just so people can see it. Maybe put it as a little sticker at this point in the video. I haven't learned how to do that yet, but I will. And, but I just think that's a very helpful, useful thing. So I look forward to being able to do that. One thing I also might do just streaming YouTube wise is just have fun with like gaming once a week. Just have a maybe like a crochet for a bit and then game for a bit stream. I play a lot of Overwatch. That can be pretty fun. And it's just nice. I think it's a lot of fun to just designate some of that time every week to be able to do things you enjoy. It's been months since I've been able to play games. Like, I really enjoy Overwatch, and it's been months since I logged on to Overwatch. So I'm really wanting to play that soon. I'm no good at it, but it would be nice to be able to get back into it at some point. It's just that right now I just have too much on my plate, too much going on, too high of stakes. But we'll get to a point where that's not the case. It's really important to me that I get there. So that's definitely something I'm making a priority. And that's really why I'm working so hard right now on school and on this market, is because I want to be able to not worry and stress and feel like I need to like stress and cram about this. And I also just like knowing the pattern, because I can even just like brainstorm how to write for, like I have a discussion post pulled up right now, and I can glance over it and kind of brainstorm what I want to do. It's like, I think it's just really cool to be able to do that. And I also think that like it could be really helpful to have a do homework with me or be productive with me stream and have a crochet break in the middle, and or like craft or game or whatever else, and then have a little go back to doing your like productivity goal and go back and forth. And I think that would mostly affect students, but like I feel like it would go for cleaning too. Like like fall cleaning, I guess, or for me, it's like the permanent battle of having my house be clean at all. Like, you can see the clutter up there in the background. That's just how life is sometimes. For me, it's more than I'd like, but it's what it is. And so at a certain point, I can't really change that. And so, well, I can. It's just that it's going to take time, it's going to take effort, and that's not stuff I can just throw down immediately. And so, bit by bit, heck, I may end up doing a thing where I'll do like a we clean together stream, and I'll have a like list pulled up, maybe that it's what I'm showing, and it'll be what we're going through together. And like me, I feel really embarrassed about the idea of showing my space, but I feel also like if I had someone in my life who was showing me their space like that, it would almost give a feeling of camaraderie. And so I'm very grateful that I've seen people sharing that kind of thing. Like I said, if I had seen, but it's like, if I saw it more, it would honestly probably be motivating to know that like people have spaces like this, and it's not uncommon to have it, but it's still difficult. And like to manage living in that kind of space, it adds so much psychological toll on you. And I'm really looking forward to when that's not something I need to worry about as much anymore. So that's something I'm intentionally keeping myself looking forward to. And yeah, no, it's really nice. Yeah. So I might just hang out here for a little bit instead of talking constantly. Maybe do some Pride project planning. Brainstorm a little bit for how I want to spend my weekend. I'm seeing, I don't know if anyone else is interested, but Studio Ghibli Fest is this weekend for Whisper of the Heart. And so that's my friend's favorite movie, and she's getting me to go watch it from you. I mean, go watch it with her. And so, you know, it's definitely something I'm looking forward to. And I say that about a lot of things, but I think you got to look for things to look forward to. Inara. I hear her trying to eat plastic. Come on, Inara. Oh well. She'll come by eventually. I love her so much, but she's a bit of a glutton to say the least, so if I whipped out a churu, she would come running. And it's really funny to see her run because it kind of jiggles. Um, yeah. Oh, my bad. So I think that's pretty cool. Oh, there's my pen. Yeah, I enjoy it quite a bit. I think it's something that I rightfully so care about. But I think it's pretty cool either way. I mean, just all of this, being able to do pride, just streaming and being able to think about things, it just helps me be grateful. Oh, one of my people. She's putting these little keychains together, and she just mentioned that, oh, it could be fun for the market, and they're so cute. Like, I'll have to wait till she mails me them, and I'll show y'all. It really is cute. Oh, beans. So, I don't know. Yeah, one of my friends didn't realize I was streaming, so she'll be popping on. Um, hmm. Hi. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm just thinking about how to do stuff for Pride because, like, I'm making a list of all the stuff that I'm wanting to make, and then every time I make a list and like add something, I think of something else I want to add. Oh no. Okay, at least beads are pretty easy to get. Are you just using like the yeah, you're just using the pony beads, like the normal craft beads. At least they're pretty cheap to get more of, so you can kind of like build up a collection, but like we all know that space is the main issue with crafting. So I think that's always something that's really easy to ignore when making plans like that. They were really cute though. I think it would be fun to mail some to include. So, oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that's fair. I like painting rocks is a lot of fun, especially if you do like dip painting. Like if you're familiar with that, because that way you can just do it a little bit faster and it almost has a coat on the inside. You just need to make sure you have like polish on it too so the paint doesn't rub off. Because if you don't do that, then the paint rubs off and it gets all over the stuff or it'll scrape off. And especially if it's like a borderline toxic paint, it can be really dangerous. So, yeah, I'm a nerd about safety with that kind of thing and like toxicity of like paints and stuff, and then fire safety are things I'm like a massive nerd about for some reason. I'm just built different, you know. Firemen love me, pyros hate me, but oh, that is so that's definitely fair. Are you thinking for the stamps or for the beads? Yeah, no, that's definitely fine. I'm just used to kids like trying to chew on things like that. Oh, for the rocks, for like silly sayings. I don't know. I don't really know if you need them because honestly, your stuff's cute as heck. Like your stuff's just cute. Or are you thinking of like painting words on the rocks? Yeah, no, honestly, yeah, especially with like a lot of kids and stuff. Oh my gosh, one thing we could do is we could do like, or like, I know you're mailing stuff, but what I could set up at the booth. Yeah, so you're like painting that on the surface of the rock then. But yeah, you know those like spiral things you can make with crochet pretty easy? Yes. Yeah. Oh, that could be fun. Or like imagine like those like spinny things you can do with crochet, kind of like wind chime vibes, but we could hang like the keychain things that you're making at the bottom. So it could be like a green and brown spiral thingy with like one of the geckos that's on the bottom. I think that would be really cute. Like have it for your car and stuff, or just yours on your own, but just like a little spiral for it. So, and I could do it with elastic, so it would be kind of bouncy. I'm liking that. I feel like you're liking that idea too. I think it would be a lot of fun. Um, so I mean, and we could always put it together at the very least. Like I'll have to mail you back one. I think it would be a lot of fun. What are your thoughts? Yeah. Oh my god. That you should do that. You should do a pride rock like that. You could do a little lion on it. Little lion with a rainbow mane. Like think about that. That would be so freaking cool. The only issue is you would okay, first of all, like you would have to sell the pride, you would have to sell the rocks and you might have to do it locally. But cuz the idea of like mailing rocks, I feel like the shipping would be crazy. But I know that in Arizona there's not a lot of rain and stuff, so if you used waterproof paint, it would probably last a very long time. And I know that people would definitely want that kind of thing for lion decor. I mean, not lion decor, well, lion decor if they have a lion theme. And then, but at the very least, like for landscaping and stuff, like I think people would really like that for their yard. So, I mean, I just think that would be really nice and really helpful. I gotta say, like the person who's watching, people who are watching count of YouTube is so freaking weird. Because like I know that there's always at least one person, because I have my sister throws me on, but yeah, no, I think that that would be really really cute, and at some point I may ask you to mail me one. Honestly, through the real wilderness might be fun. You could turn it into like a foraged project. So I mean, I just like the idea of foraged projects like that. Uh, and yeah, no, I just no, that's a lot of fun. I might honestly recommend that to some of my friends here because one of them is a master and getting their masters in art. And like they're doing it in a weaving as a specialty, but what they could do is they could kind of utilize like what they use is foraged materials for dye currently. But I'm thinking if they wanted to incorporate rocks and things like that, like drill a hole through them and kind of have them incorporated in the weaving, because that's something that's not uncommon. Um, and most definitely is like a weight at the ends. I think that would be something that she would really enjoy doing instead of like beads, for example. So I think that is definitely something that would be fun to try. And I'm just like dabbling in my list, and also like to be honest, the homework already is freaking insane. Oh, no, you're all good, girl. Like, oh my gosh, how dare you get out the stuff for the project that we're talking about? Absolutely heinous behavior. I'm calling Captain Olivia Benson. Um, oh my gosh, fun fact. I don't know if you know, Taylor Swift's cat is named after Captain Olivia Benson from Law and Order SVU, which I think is so freaking funny. And also that cat is worth more than I will ever be in my life. Than like any of us will be, to be honest. It's like millions of dollars for this cat. And like I think it's cool, but like, I lost my crap when I found out because I think this happens to most of us who use Facebook ever of like, how there's like the whole pirated TV shows of like Grey's Anatomy, House, and Law and Order SVU that just show up in like the reels section, but it's like 20 minutes long. Or not reels, but like, like the feed. So I've watched a lot of freaking Law and Order SVU, and honestly, watching that is the only thing that ever gets me when I'm doom scrolling. Like reels don't get me, and nothing else really gets me. But Law and Order SVU with Captain Olivia Benson gets me almost every time, unless it's an episode I've seen before. And I'm running out of episodes I haven't seen before, so I am in danger. Or I mean, I'm escaping danger. Um, but every so often there's a new one, and I'm like, damn it, I can't not. Is if I have the time. Like obviously I'll put it down if I have work or something or like a ton of homework. I'm not disciplined, but I've just not. I'm not. It's not like I'm super disciplined. I wouldn't say. It's just that doom scrolling has never interested me. Like how some people the ADHD hits and so they just doom scroll. I got the like antithesis of typical ADHD or something, or just like a different. I'm sure what I have is common. So like maybe not antithesis of normal ADHD, but I literally just get bored by reels. Like I just feel like it's not engaging enough, which is also why I so this weekend, I don't know if you know, but Studio Ghibli Fest is going. And so as much as I'm like majorly looking forward to that, I'm also very nervous because I'm watching Whisper of the Heart with one of my close friends, coworker thing type situations. And so I'm like looking forward to it because it's her favorite movie and she really wants to show me and she invited me and it's very touching. But at the same time, it's an hour and 55-minute runtime. And so, like, counting the pre show, like, advertisements and stuff, it's probably going to be like a 2.5 hour endeavor realistically. And as much as I'm willing, like, I'll do that, it's like, oh my God, I'm going to have to take an Adderall and be on the high and then take another one, like, at the peak of it, not the high. And then take another one right before, but I can't drink any water. No, that's so fair. And then you pay money to be there, and I'm like, oh my God, like it's $12 for me to go see this movie. Like that's literally an hour, or just about an hour of me working. Like minimum wage is 12.30 here, and that's what I get paid at one of my jobs. So I'm kind of like, squeeze me. Like, could you don't? So it's very frustrating to be in that situation. And so like I don't know, frustrating to be in a situation where like I'm looking at this thing that I'll do it cuz my friend's going, but like it's something I wouldn't do alone and sometimes it is just kind of really difficult to sit through and it becomes like a not positive experience. And I'm like sitting there being like this is an hour of my work. Like this is me at work for an hour. And that's with me not paying taxes. But minimum wage in Missouri is 12.30, and even when I don't pay taxes, it's like, uh, well, I mean, is it water based or oil based paint? Because if it's water, couldn't you theoretically just let some of the water evaporate? I don't know. I'm just a chemistry nerd. My chonky girl is angry because she got her Silencia. Oh, so it was just the one color. Okay, at least it's just the one color being weird, right? Because it would really suck if it was all the colors being weird. Um, Yeah, no, it just sucks whenever you get like a batch of the paint or like a company's paint that's just kind of sus. I've always hated that. I don't think anyone really likes it, but like for me, it has always been like, no. Yeah, no, it's just not it, you know? I'm sure you know, considering you just had that issue with paint. I just had an idea. Because I do have like those little elastic fabric things. So I'm thinking like making headbands almost with my woven stuff. Hello, Rosalina. Yeah, no, ideas illegal. We can't have that stuff when we're talking about creative arts. No, we need to be rigorous and methodical and not do a single new thing. Oh, hi, Maddie. Oh, yeah, no, I should have recognized the last name. And I'm thinking, like, I don't think I want to do the unboxing of your stuff because, okay, so this person is the person who mailed me, like, those pride tops I was talking about earlier. They're super cute, but I'm either going to want to do a video where then I can try them on, or I'm going to want to wait till I get a mannequin because I'm in the process of trying to work with one. I mean, work with one, but work on getting one. And so I want to make sure that I can actually like really show them off because right now, okay, I'm gonna be real. I don't think anyone can change fast enough. But also, I'm disabled. So I'm like, y'all don't want to wait the hot minute to actually go and try them on. And also, I don't want to stretch them, um, because all that good stuff. And it would be fun to practice like getting them on a display, because it's gonna look silly until I get it down. But they are so cute, y'all. And she has made so many. Like I said, I'm gonna be putting her TikTok in the description for this after it posts. But she goes by Washington Fiber Forge. So cute. And she's been getting more and more into like other kinds of tops too, instead of like the regular like halter tops that you see a lot of. And they're so cute and flowy, and I can just definitely imagine them like even just wearing them normally and when the weather is warm like it is now, or like over a swimsuit or something. Like I'm thinking it would just be really nice to have that because I overheat really easily and temperature changes are hard for me. And so having like that to offer a little bit of protection from changes, but also to not make you overheat. Oh my gosh, she mailed some for she's making one for a trade I'm doing at some point. And so that's why like I paid for shipping for stuff to get mailed here and all that good stuff. But what's nice about it is it's so cute. And I'm bullying her into trying cotton yarn because I think personally like acrylic's a lot cheaper, so it makes this stuff a lot more accessible, which is important. I've just gotten really good at shopping cotton. It's just acrylic can get really like itchy for certain things. What you can do though with acrylic projects is you can soak them in fabric softener and they soften up really nicely. And so that definitely helps. But even beyond that, it just kind of like frays easier while you're working with it. And for me, that's a big problem. I think if she made me something in acrylic, it wouldn't really matter. But also, I just react poorly to like certain scents or whatever else sometimes. So it's very hard to do that sometimes. Um, oh yeah, no, it's just. Yeah, no, it's fun because I'm thinking about, like I was talking, I have like this elastic fabric you can sew in, and I do these woven bands. So I'm thinking if I made one like 2 inches, inch and a half wide, um, I could put it in as like a headband, and then that way it would like sneak behind you, like or not sneak behind you, but like be able to stick behind your head and like actually like attach to your head, which would be really nice. And since I used a lot of unmercerized cotton, it kind of has this grippy feeling anyway, so it's not gonna like take your hair, but it's gonna like stick a little bit easier. So I think that would be really fun. And that's definitely fair with the texture of yarn. I think also though you might find some yarn you'd like just going to Joann's and like feeling around a little bit because I have the same issue with like Red Heart. Red Heart's a no from me, dog. Like my grandma uses it and she's offered it to me, and I'm like, no. Like you can soak it in fabric softener first, but then it like all sticks together because it got wet together, and it's just, um, yeah, no, I'm like, it ain't it. It just ain't it. No, for real. I hate it. I genuinely hate how red art feels. Especially like every so often, like certain like batches of their stuff just feel worse than others. So it's like certain colors and whatnot are okay, and you might catch me using, like, you're gonna catch me using up the rest of my super saver stuff that's like the stripes or whatever. But like you're gonna, like, respectfully, you're gonna catch me dead before you're gonna catch me using the like single color super saver. I think not. Okay, but that being said, like the first weaving I did was these little mug rugs. And I made the mug rugs from Red Heart Super Saver, which worked out because it's not slippery at all. It is scratchy, but what that does is it gets a grip. And the only issue with it is you can't put something like boiling hot because, like, you know, it's acrylic is plastic yarn. And we like it. This is a pro solid rather than liquid plastic household personally. So that's a really cool thing to keep in mind. So don't make like pot holders or anything out of acrylic yarn. So I think that's just important to know and to take note of, because I know people who have made that mistake. And not fun to clean up. And like realistically, I think that also like having it as mug rugs, it works fine. It's not like the most absorbent, but it's nice to be able to practice, and it's just not bad to work with, you know? And I'd rather use it than go to waste, though I am thinking about destashing it, to be honest. It's just I have so much stuff to go through that whatever way I can find where I don't mind working with something at the very least, I'm gonna like go for it. Um, but yeah, Madeline, that's why I think that you might really like, or yeah, Maddie, I think that's, yeah, I think that's why you would like cotton quite a bit. Is because it's just not scratchy. Like this is very smooth, and you might find it interesting because there's two main kinds of cotton, and so this is where it like gets into like smooth and not smooth. Unmercerized is when it doesn't have that sheen. You know how like this has that sheen to it? That's because this is mercerized. And then the other ones, like the pastel skull shawl, you saw how it looked more like the solid color than kind of having that shine to it. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. It's really hard to see on camera, I think, but it's just a way of how it Oh, upcoming. Oh yes, 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 for like the trade I'm doing. Oh my gosh, and I'm going to have to show you pictures of how the portrait she's doing for me is coming along. And I haven't finished her shawl yet either, which is kind of unfortunate, but c'est la vie. And it just kind of, it is what it is. Um, so it kind of is, yeah. But I'm most of the way done, so that helps. And yeah, it's just a solid girl boss moment. Um, oh man, I should have posted before I started streaming in the little like ADHD group, like the ADHD swap and shop. They have like a group chat on Facebook Messenger, and so I should have posted the link there and been like, y'all want to sit in? Because like realistically, it's not like, you know, like the streaming, I don't really have a big audience. It's not super well edited. I don't have like a goal for every stream yet. It's more like chilling, but I don't have like an audience that's big enough to like sustain that and keep me talking about community style stuff all the time. So it's kind of like, you know, we play it by ear, we figure it out as we go. But no, dude, you're all good. Like, do not worry about the stupid broken finger. Like, just to be clear, she refuses to. Oh, there's a Discord. Oh, I forgot about. I didn't know there was a Discord. That's good to know. Um, Could you send me the link to the Discord? Do you know how to send the link, Shyla? Because if you do, if you could just send it to me in Messenger, I could just join it real quick. That would be very good to do before I forget. Thank you so much, Queen. But don't worry, Madeline or Maddie, because like, she is almost refusing to let me send the shawl before she sends the painting. But I'm like, no, view it as a deposit. And then this way also, like, it just gives you more time. Like, because she's not super worried about it, and I've been helping plug her in the group, so I feel like we got nothing but good vibes going, you know? So I just, like, I'm not super worried about it. I wouldn't worry about it too much, and I just got that. Thank you, Shyla. And I'm pronouncing it right, right? Like I think I am. I feel like I am, but also like I have been on a not girl boss kind of day, so I would not be surprised if I was just being a silly little goober, dare I say. You know, so oh baby, oh yeah. So that's alrighty. We are getting by. We are getting by, dare I say. And getting by is pretty good. Okay, awesome. Because I have some friends, I'm in Missouri, so I've had some friends who were named Shiloh growing up. It's just kind of like something I'm kind of used to, you know? But, you know, I think it's cool. I mean, I think it's like a cute name. I just think it's cool that, like, I don't know. It sounds so silly. It sounds like stoner talk, but that people have the same name. Like, because for me, my name's very unique, which is why I like use a shorthand for it basically when I'm online. That's why I go by Sana. And so, you know, it's like, it's just wild to me that if you look up my name, I'm one of the top results outside of like an athlete and like a nutrition supplement company. So that's really funny to me that like I'm a nutrition major. I'm also very like I got a chronic health issue, and it's like nutrition gonna fix ya. And I'm like, boy, I wish it was. I wish it would, you know, like with how much money I'm paying for tuition, girl, it better cure me. So yeah, that ain't it. But yeah, so it's a certified girl boss moment, dare I say. Thank you. I really like my name. It's just, I don't know. I'm named after like a fantasy novel character, which is nice. But it's just also like, I don't know. Picking your own name can be a very empowering thing in a lot of ways. So that's kind of why I got into it. That, and I do 2 languages, so phonetically it is easier for both languages. So it just kind of started there, and then I liked it, and I was like, okay. And so I'm Sana now. And it's nice to be able to say, like, in Spanish, it means healthy, ironically. But I can be like, Sana, and they're like, Sana? And I'm like, como saludable? And then they're like, Sana! Because it's synonyms, right? And in Japanese, it's very phonetic with them. So it works out. And so it's very nice. And for English, I can say, like, the steam rooms. So that's very convenient, to say the least. I just appreciate it. It's nice to have ways to be able to make people understand it a little easier. It's just nice because that way they feel more confident with pronunciation too. Because honestly, like, I will respond to almost anything that vaguely sounds like my name. And even if it doesn't, like, one thing I've gotten used to is just like when they get to people who I know have like G-ish or like, you know, like J-ish, or because you know I have a middle name. I have multiple middle names, and so sometimes they like read off both or like read off the one, like the middle name instead. And so I'm just so accustomed to, like, if they don't do the first one, I know that where the second one's coming, and I'm just used to taking the silence and being like, "That's me." And it's Sana. I go by Sana, and they're like, "Okay." And they kind of seem surprised every time, but then they kind of like laugh about it, you know? But yeah, honestly, like anything close works. I'm like, we're gonna guesstimate that you're talking about me. And worst case scenario, me and someone else who it's like vaguely close to, we just make eye contact and we're like, huh. So I just think, yeah, no, I just think it's cool to be able to like do that bombastic side eye. Um, but yeah, no, I don't know. I just felt like it might be a little bit fun to stream tonight. I was hoping more people would be on because it's always fun. Like, I mean, like talking to you guys, obviously fun, and I think it's kind of like a new thing that's kind of interesting to be like, oh, this person, I'm seeing them like on video. How snazzy. But it is also cool when I can like get the interest of like a stranger into something that maybe they weren't interested in before, like if they didn't do crochet or crafts generally. Um, but I'm thinking that I'm looking at my calendar for tomorrow and I'm not really seeing any new appointments. I work a job where I can get scheduled for appointments, and that's where a lot of my hours come from. And so I finish up tomorrow at like 4, so I may honestly just do like a weaving stream at that point. I think would be pretty cool. Um, you know, weaving is solid as heck and it is a lot of fun and not a lot of people know what it looks like, and I've gotten very good at it for like the specific version of it that I like to do. It's like the basic version. I just like it because it is easy and intuitive. And whenever I choose to do hobbies and things, I like intuitive. It's why I've been doing so much dragon scale, is because it's like visual, so I don't need to count or anything else. And it's textured, which I really like, and I like how it just flows and it feels natural. And beyond that, also, it's just, I don't know. It works really, really well with the gradient I have. Oh, and Shiloh, are you painting the rocks currently, just going for it, or do you not have any on hand? Because if you are going for it, you better send me pictures, because I'm like, or you could, honestly, you could do like one idea I had with the maps that you've been doing is like, I like the color paper that you're doing. Ah, oh, that's unfortunate. Is it just kind of sliding off a little bit? And apologies if you hear dogs. My grandma's dogs are upstairs losing it, probably at like a squirrel or something. It's like this little toy Yorkie thing and then a Shih Tzu. So it's really funny to just see them get really, really angry at like nothing, but they're like less than a foot tall. It's like it's like that Chihuahua rage, but like Yorkie style, like New Yorker, where they just yell "Shut up!" So I mean, I just think it's funny. Oh, it's taking forever to dry. Okay, yeah, no, I can see that being really annoying. And then you'll probably have to use some kind of coating on it, I'd imagine, you know? But I mean, I guess like one thing I'm thinking about though is like, yeah, yeah, or even like, I mean, I feel like that would be fun. But also, like, another thing is I like the color of paper you do, but have you ever used tea to color map paper? Because what you can do is you can get like a tea bag and brush like a little bit lightly on it, and then you can like let the tea, or you can just hold the tea bag over it and let it drip some darker stuff and then kind of spread that. And so you can have like a lighter layer and then you can have darker. Yay. Okay, okay. So you did do it. I couldn't remember if you did it or not, because I'm like, I think I have a minor allergy to coffee. I'm not really sure. So I'm like tea, and I'm a basic chick who has tea at the house anyway. But yeah, and no, being allergic to coffee sucks because like energy drinks and stuff expensive compared to like black coffee. Like lattes and stuff are more expensive than energy drinks, but like you get the idea. I also feel like getting lattes and stuff is kind of like an experience. Okay, that's fair. Um, but yeah, no, it's just, I think it's just a lot of, I don't know. I think it's fun to be able to just do that kind of stuff with people where you just figure out, I don't know, like figuring out what to do next on a project is fun, I think. Like just being able to exchange ideas and do that kind of thing. So I mean, I just like being able to have like crafty friends now to be able to be like, hey, bro, you should add this, or like, have you thought about doing this? Um, and it's nice to be able to support and trade and everything else and kind of like collect stuff that people make too, like have handmade things. And being able to kind of contribute to that with my handmade things and being able to have more of my things be things that people make, like they just make it. And I'm like, I don't know, it's the idea that like I look at so many things like the gorgeous stamps you make and I'm like, a person just did this. Like they just did it, It's like, oh, 1 second. Oh, and you subscribed, Shiwa. Thank you so much. I am probably like this weekend or next weekend, I am probably gonna like start actually like making like edited videos. Like I was thinking about like, because you see a lot of like crochet videos that are like 5 things I learned or this, that, or the other thing. And so like a lot of those are pretty like very similar, and I don't kind of just want to make like another one. At least not until I have people who I like, because my whole thing is that like I like to tell stories and give anecdotes and things, and like, because this is a part of my life where I'm studying sciences and stuff, and so like, like having the data and the statistics and stuff. And for me, it's kind of nice to be able to give an anecdote about how I did in my community or with what I tried online. So one thing that I was thinking about doing that I thought would be kind of fun would be a initial things I tried and that, you know, ended up working out and, that I want to continue. And I see you just texted me. Let me take a propaganda. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. Oh my gosh, what you could do also is you could do like a little mosaic if you wanted to. Because that way you wouldn't really need any new supplies and you could kind of just use pebbles. I don't know. I think that would be a lot of fun. Um, and if you did find someone locally, they could like put it in resin to keep it protected. I don't know. I think that just sounds kind of cute. But oh man, I've completely forgot what I was saying. I am so oh yeah, but like things that I tried. No, that's anyway. My idea was things that I tried and that worked. Because that way, also, it's like a lot of stuff is like, oh, things I started with and kind of like regret, right? Like, I think it would be nice to be able to like also have an example of like have some confidence in what you want to do because like a certain amount of it is going to work out and you can trust that, right? Like being able to be like, I'm going to trust that this, yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, it's really easy to like look at all this complex, hard stuff that people do and be like, oh my gosh, I could never. Or like, oh my gosh, I was going to do that. And now they're saying it's bad and wrong. But I'm like, well, what if you thought about doing something and it worked out? Like, what if you thought about doing this and, it worked out and it either made you money or saved you money or just made the process more enjoyable? Like, one of my things has always been like, use higher quality materials if it's more fun to work with, because you can charge more and people will still appreciate it, and then you can use cheap materials and make and have lower cost stuff too. It's like, but just don't be so stingy about materials that you work with stuff that's less enjoyable to work with, because then you're going to get burnt out. And generally, like, there's the risk of like whenever you get into that mindset, you get cheaper and cheaper and then you're just working with blatantly low quality stuff. I mean, honestly, I feel like you could for sure. I think it would be a lot of fun. And, you know, like, I also just want to say, like, I don't know how TikTok has it set up, but I would be more than happy to, like, moderate the chat or something so you could just focus on the stamps. Like, because I see now that you do Discord, so we could always just hop in a um, Discord call and I could just moderate it and let you know the big things that come up so you don't got to keep looking over. Um, yeah, really. Because, like, I'm talking about it, and, like, these clover hooks are kind of like my go-to. They're, like, ergonomic, and they work really well for me. But, like, back with, like, the metal Boyer hooks, like, oh my gosh, it hurts so bad to work with those. And, like, it's really bad for your wrist health, and it increases your risk of overuse injuries so much that it's just, like, not worth it to me. And so I'm like, could you don't? Like, could we just not do this? And so I don't, you know, I can, I don't, and I don't. And so, you know, it was like $5 or $6 a hook, but there's always coupons, there's always sales, there's always getting stuff secondhand. And like the last thing you want to do is do work with things that objectively could end up hurting you. You know? Um, yeah, and like even like this yarn, like these gradient skeins I work with, like for the big vibrant stuff, those can be like $15 each. But the thing is that it's 100% cotton, which is harder to get your hands on. The gradient is like, I've never had another yarn compare. And it's really fine yarn, but it's literally like 100 gram, or it's 250 grams of weight to yarn, which is fine yarn. It's like almost lace, and it's a full kilometer of it. Yeah, no, that's totally good. And like honestly, like, yeah, I'll send it to you. I'm not like gonna publish it or anything yet, but I am like an Amazon affiliate now, so I might like test how that link works. Like if it'll charge you extra. I don't really know how it works. I still gotta look into the program. I think they just take a cut out of the original cost though. That way I could send it to you and just kind of like see how it connects to the data of like clicks or whatever else, because currently I have zero idea how it works. That being said, you can also get it for Joann's. Heck yeah. Dude, I love me some pasta. Pasta, banger. Cheap, quick, easy. College student sustenance, dare I say. And honestly, I may hop off here pretty soon. I don't really feel like there's a lot more to talk about. I just thought it was I thought it would just kind of be interesting to just kind of like sit and talk about it and like talk about my thoughts with pride. Because like my current thing is that like I'm trying to like plan what I want to make so that way I have like a to-do list, right? But like if I just go into it and like every day, like whenever I try to do pride prep, because then there's that mental load of like, what do I make today, right? Like, what do I do when I'm sitting this stuff? When do I do this, that, and the other thing? That's like deciding what to do, the stress of that, the mental load. And so I'm like, if I just have a list and I just use like a random number generator to pick between stuff on the list, and I just do that, then like, girl boss, I have the project I need to do. And if I really don't want to do it, then I just let it pick something else and we are all good. Oh my gosh, I love onions and garlic. Okay. I am probably going to call it off now, but yes, I was actually one thing I was thinking about was doing a body doubling stream. Like with studying, cuz like do you know what the Pomodoro technique is? It's like the technique where it's like work for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break. We could always do like a version of that where we work on our things, like our crafty things or whatever other things to work on. And like you could stream on TikTok and I could stream here, or you could stream on YouTube. I feel like if you re-uploaded your TikTok stuff onto here, you would also get a fair amount of traction, especially like the videos or like just the videos you have, because there's not really posts yet in a way that gets publicity. But like doing that, I feel like you could get like the 50 subs to do that pretty easily. And then like, because you can do go live together with people. And then we could do that. And like, I'm very good at like multitasking when it comes to crochet. So I could like moderate chat and stuff and it wouldn't be an issue. But I think doing that and then like during the like 5-minute breaks, or we could do 25 and 5 or 20 and 10 or something. Like we can alter it, you know? But then we could just kind of body double and people could, you know, do that. Or I think what they can do also is like pick a person to focus on. So we could have like the craft versus the schoolwork slash paperwork versus the blank. I don't know. I think it would be pretty fun. I've always liked body doubling streams and just being in like a Discord call together, like talk over the break. So at least there's like something going on, you know, instead of us just sitting in silence for hours. Um, I don't know. I think that would be a lot of fun. I would totally be down to do that as like especially if I get to like work on homework during it, like, you know, like thinking on the productivity side. Like I would 100% be down to do that as like a like scheduled occurrence, I guess. But you know, I am gonna hop off now, but like definitely text me about that, okay? I just got a text that I probably need to deal with pretty quickly. So, but it was really nice to talk with you. Thank you for tuning in. It is always nice when people do, you know? So you have a really good night.